My 29F husband, 34M, is always talking about literally nothing, and I can't handle it anymore. Me, 29F, and my husband, 34M, have a 14-month-old baby who I stay home with, and I've been building a business in my spare time. My husband takes care of us financially, which I'm super grateful for, and I know it's a huge burden in this economy. Our baby had colic constantly for months, and is just overall a really fussy, sensitive guy. I exclusively breastfed, and my husband never helped with the baby at nights or got up any earlier than he always has. It's always been on me. The only time our baby can tent for longer than a couple minutes at a time is when we're outside, so I spend as much time with him outside as I can. He also has extreme separation anxiety with me. He always has, but he's a big guy, and it's exhausting to always have to choose between holding him or listening to him cry and whine constantly. It's easier during the week. We spend lots of time outside and have our routine where he helps with chores, and we have a pretty mellow, peaceful routine. When my husband is home, though, our son is way more fussy in general. My husband doesn't like to be outside, and he hates it to be quiet in the house and always has music or the TV on. Me and our baby both get overstimulated, and he's always scared I'm gonna leave or my husband will take him somewhere, and so he's way more clingy. Even trying to get ready to take him out on a walk, just the two of us, is a huge battle because he's terrified I'm leaving without him. All this would be easier to cope with, but my husband does this thing where he just talks and talks about nothing. Like, he'll make up stories that never happened and say, "Remember that time we did X, Y, and Z?" Or come up with some outrageous story about how we met, or talk about how he used to be an NFL player, just nonsense stuff. Sometimes it doesn't bother me, but he does it constantly. He does it when our baby is fussing and whining, and I'm already overwhelmed. When the baby is napping and I'm working and have my headphones in, even when I tell him advance I need to focus. When I'm trying to cook dinner and our baby is crying to be held. When we're trying to get dressed to go somewhere, and our baby is freaking out because he thinks I'm going to leave. It's such a stupid thing to be frustrated over, and I know it's probably a bid for connection, but it's exhausting, and sometimes it just feels like an intentional dismissal of how I'm feeling. When I'm busy or have to take my headphones out over and over because he starts talking, only to realize he's not saying anything, even after I ask him multiple times to stop, it starts to really piss me off. I don't know how to handle this anymore. I really don't know why he even does it, and he can't tell me when I ask. I've asked him to please try to be aware of what else is going on. If my hands are full with the baby, or if I'm obviously working or overwhelmed. Nothing changes. He thinks he's ADHD, so I've tried to be understanding that this is maybe just one of his quirks, but he won't go see someone to get diagnosed. It's just why he says he can't stop, or why he keeps doing it when I repeatedly ask him to stop in the same 30 minutes. I know this is a dumb thing, and I probably sound like an absolute brat, but I really want to handle this without hurting his feelings, and I need it to change. I'm maxed out mentally and so stressed and tired, and I can't deal with the nonsense. Now to the next story, story 2. Would I, 28M, be a bad person if my brother, 33M, came to me asking for money and I told him no? To put it as simply as I can, my brother is not doing well financially. He lives in a big city, has a son, and is working full-time. But he also has a few $100 to his name at the moment. This has been a problem he's had for years now. He just can't seem to get on his feet and stay there. But one reason I am hesitant to give him money to help him is because, about 2 years ago, I gave him my car when I started working from home at my current job. He needed it more than me for work, and every month, he'd send me money for the KBB value on it. And that was going good for about a year until he started to have money issues. Between child support, rent, and everything in between, I imagine, he was stretched thin. So he stopped paying me for the car. But I didn't say anything because I could get to work using my mom or dad's car if I needed to. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, and I find out from my dad that the car is gone. I don't know the circumstances of how it got in the hands of some group or company that had it on loan that he would pay back. But in the end, he couldn't make the payments, they took the keys, and now the car is in someone else's hands. My car. The car that got me through college. The only shining light in that scenario is that the title and all that is in his name, he switched it to him when I first gave it to him, so it doesn't come back on me. And last week, after me and my dad drove all the way to his place to drop off my nephew who had been staying with us for the summer, I overhear from my dad talking to him that he only has a few $100 to his name at this point. Yes, he's still working. But on top of rent and other expenses, he also has a medical procedure coming up that he's going to have to pay for. Now, at the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, I will admit I haven't made the smartest financial decisions myself. I've been at my current employer 2 years and have nothing to show for it because of my overspending and dipping into savings. But I'm bouncing back slowly but surely, discipling my spending and building up my savings. I also have basically no expenses like he does. All I really pay for on a monthly basis are subscriptions to streaming services, my student loans that are under $100, and I pay my mom for staying on her phone plan. That's it. So the main reason I'm wary of giving him money is A, because my funds are also not that high, but, more importantly, B, I don't want to have to give up my financial freedom and my life to support my stupid brother. It should be the other way around. I simply don't trust him with money at this point. If I have to give up my aspirations of vacationing by myself, getting a new car, getting an apartment even, all because he needs to get back on his feet, I will never forgive myself or him. Yet I'm conflicted and feel like I would be coming off as a cold SOB for turning my back on him like that.